Maybe they didn't like what I put. Greetings, everyone. Tommy Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island. All right, we're going to go into some things today. If you have questions to ask us, go into the chat room and put it in there. You can come on, let us know if you want to come online. Come on the show. I got room for people. But this is going to be hardcore, which it always is. Truth only is my motto. No lies, no stories, no fantasies, no dreams. I know people think that what we talk about is make-believe, false, and lies. But, there's people that will never believe anything. They'll live their whole life never understanding that there might be a God, there might be aliens, there might be a Bigfoot, but they really don't care and don't want to believe it. That's their choice. And they also don't want to believe about soul, what we are. I mean, there's a lot of things people don't want to know. So we're only putting the truth out there. This is for people that want it. If you don't want it, don't listen. I make it obvious. And I do my other show on spiritualism. If you don't want to hear it, don't listen. If you believe everybody out there, go right ahead and listen to them. Go to every UFO conference. Listen to what you're going to come back with. I mean, that's why I put that phrase on the bottom here, because people do not want the truth. They say they do. They want disclosure. And no man is going to bring disclosure out. So we're going to go into that. But let's say hello to my co-host. Greetings, Tina.
Hi, Tommy. Hi, everybody. It's Tina Barrett here from Southampton in the UK and England. And it's good to see you this evening and talking to Tommy in Hawaii. And just before we start, getting in to our program tonight. The only thing really I've picked up this week, there's nothing more about that professor who is insistent that whatever landed or descended into the sea is a UFO. No one's come up and questioned him about that. And the other thing is from the Mirror, the newspaper, the Mirror. Hello, John. The Mirror Online reported that Google Earth found a crashed UFO on an uninhabited island in the Central Pacific. So take a look. Tell me what you think. Google has found on Google Earth an uninhabited island in Central Pacific, and they said that there's a crashed UFO on there. Google Earth has found that. So it's open to interpretation. You guys take a look and let us know what you think. Tommy.
Tina, could you stick that in the chat? The address, what if you can?
Or can write it in there. It was just the Mirror Online.
Well, then just tell them what to type. That's all.
I can't get in the chat room, Tommy. It won't let me post anything. I could do it in private chat.
No, I shouldn't be. John's in there.
Yeah, he's in the chat room, but I can't post in the chat room.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Hold on, let me just put the link up. I'll put it up. Hold on.
Now, I don't like to promote too many people, and especially people that I don't agree with everything they do, but I'm going to say this. Third phase of Moon. They're two brothers in Hawaii. They've been in the UFO world for a while. Now, they put a post up just a couple of days ago. A giant triangle ship blocked out and shook a city. Check it out. I mean, now my story is...
Was that in Scotland or in America?
What? The triangle ship?
Yeah.
I didn't even watch it yet. I've been so busy. But it was in the United States, I'm sure. So but that was only a couple of days ago. We got a lot of stuff happening. Now, what I'm going to say is just my viewpoint, what I believe, feel, and see happening. The first thing I see happening this year, Bigfoot's going to be exposed in detail. All right, there's a couple of shows on, showed pretty nice videos of it already, and they're really getting really close to being next to it and everything else. So I feel that's going to be the number one disclosure of a Bigfoot. I mean, they are real. I was next to one. I was less than a foot away from one. But a lot of people out there still don't believe in it, think it's fake and everything else. This guy in a costume and all those kind of things. But it's not. And their screams, their howls, their strength is incredible. Because when I was next to stamped on a log and snapped it. I mean, I turned around and I'm looking up at it. It was nighttime. The moon was out full blast, so I could see it. And then it just stamped on the ground and snapped this log. But so, yeah, they're much more powerful than people think. Now, the show that's on TV, Exploring Bigfoot or something. It's on every Sunday night. Watch it. I think they might be the first people to actually bring full disclosure out. I mean, they're bringing so much out right now. That's just one thing. I see what's happening. Everybody has a camera now. Everybody's filming things. Even if 90% of them are fake, if one of them's real, guess what? It means it's real. So, I mean, we put videos and pictures up from 1996 to 2002. We put every kind of ship you could imagine.
Tommy, can I ask you a question?
Go right ahead.
You're older than me. I know you're pointing out a lot. I don't know why. But
I'm old.
Yeah, but you have the experience and knowledge. How much proof in any subject is enough proof?
Well, see, that's the problem.
Where is that limit? You have so much proof. They're saying this isn't proof, but this is, but then it isn't. You've got every single bit of proof in the world or out of this world. When is enough proof enough?
The only proof for disclosure to happen, and I'm telling you this straight out, unless an alien race lands here and says, here we are, then it will be disclosure.
They've done that. And
I mean worldwide. Land around the world, just like the day the earth stood still.
Yeah.
Cover the planet and say, here we are, people. They're not going to just sneak into somebody's house and say, hey, tell everybody we're here. I mean, the person I did my UFO work with, Sergeant 18, he swore to me over and over that he was going to bring the aliens to the White House. It never happened. I believe him. I mean, I believe he said a lot of things that happened. And we proved a lot of things. I mean, but again, that never happened. If that happens and it's on TV worldwide, it will change reality. It will open the idea that it's real instead of, well, could be. There could be life out there somewhere. Somewhere? What are we? How did we get here? People don't even want to know how we really got here. We didn't hatch out of the ground. We didn't pop out of one person. All those things.
Sorry, John's just put in the chat room CNN. I know that's a news network in America. Is that for the story or do they have a different story? I'm not sure what that's for.
Well, people, we're going to get into a few things today. I've been in the UFO world all my life. Tina's been in it, not aware of it, but all her life. Most of her life. Yeah. And her book's coming out hopefully soon. But look, we're not here to promote lies. I don't want to. I only could put the highest truth that I know out. If you don't believe it, I'm sorry. I can only give you what I know for fact from my life, what I experienced, what I went through. I was next to a ship. I was next to an alien. I was never abducted. They can't abduct me. I stopped my brother from getting abducted. So all that just made everything in my life real. So when people say, well, what, you had a bad dream? No, I have witnesses. When I was in the hospital, my brother was there. Another kid was on the other side of the hospital room with us when that happened. I mean, when the alien came in my house, my friend was staying over my house. It was the first time I ever had my friend stay over my house. And sure enough, we heard all these noises, went downstairs, and a freaking alien walking around in there. So, and then we saw the ship outside. So, my experiences aren't from waking up and say, wow, I just went to other worlds with these aliens, and they're so nice to me. Really? I hate the word experiencer. It came out only years ago, and it's the most obscene word in my world. I just wrote to Gates, Musk. I put it on everybody's site.
That just upsets me, that word experiencer. It just takes it away from the word abduction. If you're an abductee, an experiencer is if you experience something, whether it's good or bad. If you experience something bad, people don't want to know because you're negative. When you've been abducted, that is a negative experience, people. It's not a positive experience. Believe me. That's the difference. It takes it away. Sorry, continue, Tommy.
No problem. It amazes me that one of the biggest names in the UFO world, Stephen Greer, comes out and says all aliens are good. I mean, how can somebody say that? He disproves or lies about all the important experiences or things that really happen in the UFO world.
Tommy, can I ask, you've got to get hold of Mr. Greer. I'd like to ask him a question. I've nothing against him, never met the man. I think some of the stuff he does is good. But if ever, I've got to disagree on that point. If every single alien is good, how bad is a bad alien?
If they eat us.
What makes a bad alien? Hello?
And when they disprove or cover up like Phil Snyder's story, John Ford's story, all right, I know people as well that disappeared and things like that. But, the truth is there. and people seem to hide from it, especially in the UFO world. All the stories about all the good aliens. Now, Caroline Corey put out another movie. Her first movie was about clones and all that kind of stuff, and she claimed she could levitate and she's going to change vibration, changes people's DNA and all that. You know, you could get somebody to prove anything you want. The government does it all the time. When they put freaking poison in our water, fluoride, it was like we have to make a reason for it. It's poison. So, you can get a doctor or a lawyer or anybody, you pay them enough money, they'll say whatever you want. You pay enough people, you have many people saying what you want as well. So Stephen Greer is going to be building this giant complex for people that were involved or involved in the UFO world. Great. But that other person we had on our show, he wants to work with the aliens and build this whole center for them.
Tommy, I can understand an educated man that would like to make contact with another race. At the end of the day, if they can take people like me, and I'm just an average person, regular person, nothing out of the blue, he's a doctor, he's an educated man, and they must know he's trying to make contact with him. Surely they would be intelligent enough to go to Dr. Greer and make contact with him. He's obviously been trying hard enough and can make contact with him. If that's the case, they would go and see him. They would go and abduct him and speak to him personally, like the experience and abduction I have experienced.
Well, his experience, what he's pushing on
very
people.
Bright, these intelligent aliens.
Well, what he's doing now, he gets groups of people, takes them out at nighttime. They all go into meditation, and he's trying to tell them how to communicate with these aliens and talk to them. I said, come out with one sentence of something important. I mean, an alien's not going to come from another world, come down here to talk to Stephen Greer and say, hey, let's go party tonight. What are they going to talk about? What would they have to say to him? And talking to him means what? The only person that I know directly had communication and was given information in great detail was Nikola Tesla. I mean, I could go into that. I might do a whole story on him one day. I mean, I was up there where he worked with DuPont and all that stuff. But he actually created the most dangerous stuff for the planet. Now, why would he do that? And when he said, right before he died, he said, they probably will not use any of my devices or my inventions wisely, which they won't. But when the alien race gave it to him, they knew what he was going to do. They already knew about time travel. They gave Tesla time travel. So it wasn't Tesla went to school, oh, I invented time travel. No, he didn't. Time travel existed for a long time. That's where the word out-of-place artifacts come from, meaning objects from a different time frame in a different time frame. I mean, like a time frame from ancient history to the present, or present back in that time frame. Sergeant 18, who I did my show with and worked with up in the government property and stuff, had a knife. It was encased in stone. The knife was made in like 1887 or somewhere around there. The stone was over 500 years old. Impossible. So it's called the out-of-place artifact. Now, Michael Cremo is a person who writes about, he's an archaeologist, he's a lot of different things, but he writes about artifacts from all over the world from different time frames. They discovered the first canoe that was ever made, and it had weapons inside it. Scientists today are still debating whether monkeys were riding in that canoe or a Neanderthal man or some other kind of person. So, history is mind-boggled by man's delusion. Whatever man wants to happen or create, they do. And they do it in a very strange way where their ego becomes part of their reality, which isn't good. I mean, you need ego, but when it takes you away from the truth and puts in its own truth, like you're a Superman, you can do anything you want. Really? And then you believe it. Now, I'm not going to say all the names in the UFO world because most of them are so egotistical. You see that little phrase going around the bottom? I challenge every single person in the UFO world to a debate live or offline, and they can't even do it. Even Lou Elizondo, I've been begging him to talk to him. Now it was compassion for the first 6 months. Now I said, guess what? If he can't talk to me, he can't talk about the truth. And he's working for the... Obviously, he can't tell us the truth because he can't tell us anything important. Did he ever talk about a real alien? Did he ever talk about a real ship that he was next to? No. All right. Tina's a lot more aware of that stuff than he is, and so am I. So when he won't talk to people like us, and they rather talk to some, I don't know what you want to call it, experiencer. I had a great trip. I was with all the cool aliens. And they took me around the world and then the universe, and they showed me their hometown. They showed our future town. Really? Do you know anything about life and death on this planet? You don't live more than 125 years. Never mind, you don't learn to fly with your make-believe wings and stuff like that. So this is reality. I don't deal with dreams. I don't deal with illusions. Even though when I was a hypnotist, I could make a person see anything I wanted to. I brought a whole bunch of people to a cemetery and made a statue get up and start chasing them, and they all ran. I mean, hypnosis is very bad. I studied and learned from Kreskin when I was 11 years old. Now, he called it power of suggestion. Stephen Greer with the word of power suggestion. And this is what happens. I'm going to take you out in the field, and I'm going to let you see aliens. It's the suggestion starts creating energy. I mean, oh, check that. It's moving. Everybody sees something moving. Oh, it's a ship. Everybody sees a ship. It's easy to put a thought in a person's mind. Now, I'm going to just throw this in. HAARP, system, can send a thought, an image into anybody they want, anywhere on the planet. And it relates to chemtrails. It relates to a lot of things. But Jesse Ventura went into the White House to the person that was involved with creating that whole idea and asked him, why would you do that? He goes, well, we didn't know what we were going to do with it when we were working on it. So when people say, well, I had this experience, it could be implanted. The same as I say, the Galactic Confederation is an implant of an idea. Anybody that rises to a certain vibration will see the Galactic Confederation, Ashtar Command, and all those people. Because none of the things they ever said ever came true. Not one thing. Oh, they're going to land here next week. We're all going to go up to the mountain and get taken up. Oh, the ships are going to come down and take. I mean, all this.
Tommy, I've got a question about what you just said there. I was friends with this healer, a spiritual person,
okay,
so to speak, and we went on holiday to this place, and her friends were there, and they studied like healing energies, and they could be mediums for the other side, and the oh god, what are they called? Well, like the white glowing white beings called, what are they called?
The white beings, tall whites.
Yeah, I don't know. No, they do anyway.
Nordics.
Like, I don't know who they were.
Okay, right.
All these people anyway, and all this and that, and all these spiritual things. I thought, okay, yeah, a bit of that. So I went down there for like a healing weekend, and I started getting this pain in my hand, and I had a thing. Sorry, I've been gardening. Sorry, in my hand, and you can see the scar there. And I had an object removed from my hand, and it started about 2 years later. We was on this holiday thing, and it started hurting, and it just like glowed bright red in my hand, like because the skin was so red. And it just swelled up. I was only washing up, didn't wash it, and washing up at this cottage, and it started stinging like mad. There was nothing in the bowl, nothing. And then I just felt tired. And I said, no, I've had enough. And I had a real freaky sense, and I'm like, I'm tired out. I'm going to bed. So I left her there talking with her friend, this woman who owned the cottage, and her husband that was, owned the cottage. And they in like this retreat where you could go and be spiritual. Anyway, I goes off to bed. Had the best night's sleep ever. Don't remember nothing. Went off to bed, felt good as gold, got up. I'm not sure what I got up. It must have been about 5 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock. And as I got up, because it was like a B&B place, this cottage, the toilet was in the hallway. So I comes out of my room with my dressing gown on, and my friend stood there looking petrified, staring at me outside my room. I shouldn't laugh. It was horrifying for her. And she shared this bedroom with her daughter. And she said, Tina, she said, I'm so traumatized. I said, what's the matter? She said, we've been up all night, petrified. She had these glowing lights outside the window, these beings trying to come in the room and take my daughter. She said, and I was using all this chant and telling them to get away, and you couldn't, and the Archangel Gabriel was going to come down and save me. She said, it's been a horrible night. So he goes down to the kitchen, and she's there shaking. Literally, she was physically, she looked white as a ghost. She was really frightened. Well, anyway, and I said to her, oh, I had a really good night's sleep. Nothing happened to me. She said, really? She said, it was your fault. You've drawn her here because you've left the area where you live. I'm like, no, she said, they followed you here. Anyway, about 2 hours after this, 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30, the owners come down for breakfast, and we're still sitting there talking and drinking tea. And she says, so the owner says, I said, is your husband right? He looked at me a bit weird. She said, yeah, he had a terrible dream. I said, don't tell me. I said, I had the best night's sleep, but I had the weirdest dream ever. I said, there were some teenagers running about, and this place was a hospital. I said, it was a bit freaky. She said, yeah, he had a dream that some lad committed suicide in this hospital ward, and it was here. And you were there watching him. And in my dream, I was. So they blame me for the dream, and they think the dream was him being abducted. And her friend blames me for bringing the aliens there because they tried to take her daughter. How is it not a win-win situation? And I got the blame for it, didn't do nothing. How do you explain that then? And they were spiritual and had all this protection. Explain that, please.
I contradict the word spiritual. Even though I do a lot of what I call so-called spiritual journeys or ideas about spiritualism, it truly doesn't exist here. I wish it did. I wish it was a part of reality that mankind could accept, but they don't and they won't. All the things man does. I was just with two people a little while ago, and I said I follow the 10 Commandments. Oh, why? That's stupid. I mean, that's the viewpoint of the average person. Oh, they're outdated laws. I mean, people don't want to be told to do anything. But now, just to show you, why is it they're going to let them reverse the law on abortion in the United States now? Now, that contradicts women's freedom of rights. And to change that after, I think, 40 years or how many years Wade was in effect, the whole thing, and they're going to reverse it. I said, well, take all women's rights away. Why give them any rights?
Is there a population decrease in America?
No, that's not happening. It's just because you got some people that say an abortion is killing life. All right. Which is a person's choice. I mean, it should be the woman's choice to do whatever she wants with her body, period. Not somebody else.
I don't, for me, and I'm being very, this is for me, everybody makes mistakes. I thought the only reason that they brought really in whole worlds against it, and I can understand why, were for these poor women or young girls that were raped and, became pregnant because they were raped against their will. And that was their only way out. Why should a young, innocent girl who's been raped have to live her life with a man's child that raped and abused and attacked her?
Right.
I thought that's why they did it. I don't personally agree with it. If there's an exception, I'm sure that's
right. Not. Here's the thing.
I'm not getting into that tonight, but that's my view.
I don't want to get into that in detail. I'm finishing a book.
I don't understand why they would reverse that law. But
well, I'm doing a book. It's almost done. It's all about that at every level. I just want to say this: the laws are crazy in the United States. I'm not going to go into them because they are obscene, and I wouldn't want children to even hear what's going on in reality. All right, it is so bad, and man's ego is overpowering women's rights, and it's not right, not fair, and it's still the wrong time. Women were in prosecution for 30,000 years, and what are we going to do? Stick them back into being controlled by man? It's pathetic, but I don't want to go into that subject because it's just so far off of where we're trying to go today. But it's a bad subject, a horrible subject. Maybe I'll do a show on that because my books, I don't know if I want to get it done because I can't get nobody to edit it. Nobody wants to read the bad things that I'm writing about. But it's truth. People don't like bad things that are true. If I lied and Tina lied, we'd probably have 1 million people following us. She'd have 10,000 people every day saying, I want your book, and all those kind of things. But you say, oh, it's the truth. What's the truth? Your truth? Oh, it's only your truth.
They don't want to hear the cold light of day, and that is bang on. You're on the money there, Tommy. That is so right. They don't want to hear the horrid truth because there's no escape from it, and they don't want to face it.
The whole UFO world is kind of downplaying Tina's experience. All right, which is contradictory to what the UFO world is. It's a world of UFO beings coming here and abducting people. That's how it started. That's what it is. It never changed. It's not like, oh, the good aliens come down, starting farms here and helping us grow plants and purifying the ocean and things like that. It's not happening. And then you'll get another person. Well, I worked with them last night. They helped me. Help your what? Get another bad dream and believe it's real? I call them bad. When you hear lies and accept them, it's a bad dream. When you hear the truth, but people, you have a question, all right, and you have something you want to bring out, put it there. Email me, text me. You don't have to come after me. I'm not trying to make you believe anything, and you don't have to listen to a single word I say or Tina says. I'm coming from my heart. She's coming from her heart. We're
It
not.
could be people don't understand or don't want to understand or don't know how to understand. It's very hard for people that have come from a different faith or different part of the world or different social setting to understand it's something that just happens to human beings. It's probably been going on thousands, if not millions of years. And I was just one of those unfortunate ones. And I say unfortunate ones that it's happened to. So I don't think it's like unless you've been run over or unless you've been abducted or unless it's happened to you, it's hard to even fathom that this is possible. Because unless you put yourself in my shoes or somebody else that tells you that they've been abducted, it is a bit hard to swallow. When you try and explain it, it does sound like a movie. It does sound unreal because it's like woolly mammoth. How do you know woolly mammoths exist? Only because you found the bodies and seen pictures and believe what scientists say, but you've never seen one in real life. And if I was to say I lived in the Arctic in this remote region, or I lived in Antarctica, and I saw this hairy elephant, people would say, "Do you know what? That's a woolly mammoth. You've seen a woolly mammoth." But
John,
how does anybody know that?
quick question. That's a question for another show, John. We don't want to go into the spiritual side of anything right now.
Yeah.
I'm speaking to the physical body, the physical mind, and what happens to us as a being, not as a soul. But when we talk about what we're trying to get into right now, it is complex. Nobody wants to follow or dig into the real hardcore part of it. Now, Tina was abducted. All right. Now she hit the lottery. She's one of those people that hit the $8 billion lottery, but it was for being abducted. How many people in 8 billion people get abducted? All right. She hit the wrong lottery. I mean, we have this problem where we want money, we want fame, we want all those things. Where does aliens fit into that? Oh, they're going to protect us from what? From pollution? From artificial intelligence? Where do people think they could even take us? I would love to sit down with Stephen Greer on public TV live and let people call and ask questions about what's happening, what's going to happen. Now, even Mr. Musk said what's going to happen with artificial intelligence. It's not that hard to figure out. We don't need people. I mean, all those things. People, are you ready for the truth? You want to realize what's going down. You think they want to take care of sick people? Do you think they want to take care of homeless people? All right. I mean, Hawaii is having a hard time with the homeless people. They got a new plan and they're going to try some new ideas to get the homeless people out of Hawaii. But they've been trying that. They were paying them their airfare and put them on a plane, ship them back to the mainland, and they can never come back to Hawaii. But now they're going to try to teach them how to get a job and things. But
it's like, in a way, Tommy, he kind of links it. Tommy's right. What is a human being's purpose? We don't live that long. We ruin our habitat. We die of disease, and we're basically all we do is eat and reproduce. What is a human being's purpose? I think it's a vessel to carry a soul. For what purpose, I don't know. And yes, I don't believe we understand and know enough about death. I think soul and spirit, two different things in the same body. If your soul or your spirit dies with your body and the essence or spirit or whatever you call it, you are that person when you die and go on. But what is a human being's purpose? What do they want from us? Well, I mean, what is their purpose? To sit in a spaceship, fly around and just keep abducting us?
Just for the people that really want to know an answer to that question, after Gina leaves, I'll bring it up. But let's stick with the problem right now. We got how many speakers out there in the UFO world? Really top speakers, maybe 100, 200 max. All right. And 90% of them are telling the same story. All right. And now they contradict all the things that happened in the UFO world. Sure, they'll bring up Area 51 or Roswell. But how much other than that? Are they talking about what happened in Africa when the ship came down and all those children went up to that alien? Are they talking about the things like
Ariel.
with Phil Snyder and all those aliens that were killing all those people? And then
There was
we had
also a bigger incident in Australia with over 200 children. It's bigger than the Ariel one, and it's more recent. It was over 200 children in the late 70s, early 80s in Australia that saw a craft that landed and spoke to the children.
see, now everybody was a child, but do you remember your childhood in detail? Did you ever work with spirits, demons, entities, anything like that when you were little that you remember? So all children do, but they usually don't remember much of it because parents always say, "Well, that's not real. Don't think about it. Forget it. It's not real." Blah blah blah. But when that's happening, realize entities, spirits, aliens love children. Children have the highest energy in this reality. That's why when you're going to sacrifice something with super high energy, and that's why they sacrifice children, usually. Now, it's always about children. Go into Moses' story. Let's kill all the children. It's fear that children might grow into somebody more aware than they are. I mean, it's aliens want to program them. And look at what's going on with Tina and the whole story with children and stuff. It's kind of crazy, but it's not different. It's been going on for a long period of time. Now, the history of the human race, nobody wants the truth. Religion has everybody so programmed what it has to be. All right. And there's over 2,000 religions. But seriously, the two most populated ones, Christianity and Muslims, are the highest. One's 2.5 billion, the other one's 2.3 billion. So that's a lot percentage of people that are locked into an idea, not the truth, not what's happening, an idea that was programmed into them. So to try to get them to move and budge is really hard. Now, the ones that aren't follow some strange religion. And I mean, there's a big percentage that follow Lucifer. They say they follow Lucifer.
I don't think it's really about religion because they abduct people from all around the world.
Well, no, I'm not saying they abduct people because of religion. What I'm saying is what's stopping that from becoming true or real. Religions don't want to accept that. And now a lot of Christians say, well,
the Pope did.
Well, he said, we'll talk to him and teach him Christianity. That's what he said, which is ridiculous. All right. But what I'm saying is most people will say it's a demon. It's not an alien. It's a demon. And they relate it to what they can perceive or understand in their reality. But the reality is, if you see an alien and you're next to it, suddenly your reality changes. Tina's changed, mine changed. Mine changed when I was 6. Hers changed when she was little. I mean, her story is a little bit different than mine, but I became aware very young, and I understood all those things at the same time. So it's a hard life for me, living in this reality with people that are ignorant to the truth, don't want to hear it. Did you see what somebody wrote in the chat? Well, yeah, she's back here. Well, I'm thankful for that as well. But people, I want you to really think about where you're going and what you want to believe or what you think is really going to happen. Because I feel, and what I was getting into, I truly see aliens coming down and saying why they're here. Once they start cutting down on population, they need people, and they need people to eat, but they don't want 8 billion people. They don't need that many people. They can't take care of them. We can't take care of our own people. If you have a farm, you don't bring in 10 billion cows in your farm, do you? You wouldn't be able to take care of them. You take in what you can take care of. So when aliens abduct people, they take what they can use and need and work with. Otherwise, they would just abduct the whole planet, put them on their other planet, and make them all robots or toys or whatever.
Do you know what? I don't think far from the truth there, Tommy. When that huge like black submarine thing in near Saturn, near Jupiter, it wasn't man-made. No way could man ever. It was absolutely humongous. Never seen anything like that. And this wall panel with these like 3-4 look black wall, but you just put your hand there, and like this drawer thing opened, and it was bright white light inside. And inside the drawer was bright white light. Was things about that looked like that, like little round, about the size of a 50p or a bit bigger. And they're like little tiny petri dishes, and they looked like they had little half a jelly bean, and they were like babies, like embryos stored, and this white light was keeping them like frozen, like sedated, so they wouldn't grow until they would get there was going. So there was going to grow a new population. And this drawer, this wall, this cabinet was just mine. This ship, or this huge thing, was just like filled. Must have billions upon billions of fertilized eggs in there. And they're going to go to another planet with that.
The experiences talk about going to all these different worlds and everything. Dreams and visions can be created in anybody. Like I said, somebody put the word Hitler up there. He was one of the biggest names using mass hypnosis, power of suggestion. All right. People in the UFO world are doing that to us subconsciously and consciously. You go out into a field and meditate. When I met Nassar Harriman, I listened to him talk. I mean, he claims he has the Ark of the Covenant. Oh, well, he invented the string theory, but he created he has an Ark of the Covenant. And he says the government has one. Oh, the government says, we got an Ark of the Covenant. He wants millions of dollars to link his with the government and make it change the vibration of the planet, which he's going to do. These people, a little bit of power goes a long way. And the little more power you get, the more you think you are better than everybody else. Nobody, a spiritual law, has the right to interfere with any other person's life or reality unless they're asked into it. And how many people abide by that? Nobody. So when a person says they're going to change the vibration of the planet, to whose vibration? Which alien race do you want to follow? Which human do you want to follow? We want to follow ourselves, and you need to be aware of that, which nobody wants to understand either. So we're on this path going nowhere, but we are being controlled. I mean, aliens are on the top of the list of the controlling people. Who controls the world power? Who controls those people's minds? Why do people think that they can do something and make the whole world do it?
I think it's becoming more militarized about seeing UFOs and then finding them and flying them in the sky. I think like the reason people are so focused on them now is it's not just the good guys coming here, it's the bad guys. You can't just have these good aliens, the bad ones that come. They told me the others are coming, they're coming soon, they shouldn't come here, but they do. Now, these objects, and they are objects, they're coming into our atmosphere, fighters are chasing them, I'm telling you they're here, and they're coming into the world's atmosphere. That's got to be damaging our planet or the ozone. They're coming in and out, bringing bacteria, God knows what with them. And then even if they're coming from a different dimension, they're still punching a hole into this world. That's got to be damaging our planet. No one's screaming about that. Where's these Save the Earth people then? Then you've got, if it's giving off radiation, no one's screaming about that. And why is it human beings killing the planet? They're just as guilty as us. And then they're coming here under the cover of darkness, subduing humans, taking them from their home, getting through your military, they're getting through your home defenses, and they're abducting you from your home under the cover of darkness, covertly, for a covert reason. They're doing God knows what to you, and you're lucky, I got put back. And that's the only good thing I could really say about it, apart from, I'm here to tell the story, but it's not been a good ride for me. So that's why I think a lot of people are focused on UFOs and not abduction at the moment. I think there's one question at a time.
All the history of the UFO world, the one thing that they said happened was alien races actually shut down all the nuclear reactors on the ships and everything. All right, they said that. All right. Now, how did they know the reactor was shut down? I mean, were they firing them and then realized they couldn't fire them? How would they actually know that? And I left at Eastgate.
All the safety lights go off to say that it's active.
Well, they could just activate the lights. They didn't have to do anything else, did they? But, left at Eastgate, I was friends with him, Larry Warren. And he told the story. He was on TV. He was on all
met Larry Warren.
I do too. I was with him for a whole weekend. We partied. But the problem was, this was before he wrote his book. He was in basically prisoned 10 years after he was thrown out of the army. All right. And he couldn't tell a story. They erased his Social Security, everything about him. He couldn't even prove he was alive. So it took him a long time. He put his book out. His book was incredible. But he explains he was there and he went up to the ship and it was all recorded and he was recording it when he was doing it. But now, many years later, the co-author says it's all stories. Imagine that. Somebody says, hey, come out and say he's a liar. How much money did they give him? Money controls.
And I've spoken to Larry. I've heard him talk. I've heard him talk about his mum and his phone call. In fact, I think you'll find that Gary Heseltine and a director, Dion, is making a film about Larry Warren's thing and about R.F. Bentwaters, what actually happened there. Dion Johnson, the director, I met him as well. Very nice chap. And I've been to Gary Heseltine's like weekend they had for the UFOs, like a seminar, and he showed us like the film release. And yeah, I think they're onto something there. And you know when someone's telling the truth. I've been there myself, but when you hear it from someone else, it's interesting to just listen to what they're actually telling you and how they're putting it across. Because when other people do the same thing, people don't believe you, and that's where it comes from. Sorry.
I want everybody, and I'm not. I don't hate to promote anything, but I want people, if you can, watch the movie that Carol Corey just put out, and let me know. Give me your feedback. I want to hear what you think about her and what she's doing. Because I watched the first movie and it made
Sorry,
me.
Cable Green. I've just come to what it's called. Cable Green. That's what it's called.
What is
that film they've just made about Larry Warren?
Oh, cool. All right, it's out already.
I think you can find like the trailers and it out. I think you can find it online. It's called Cable Green. Have a look.
Well, this other movie just came out. It's something Sky, but I want people's viewpoints. I want to see what people feel when they listen to her. She looks nice. She looks like she's intelligent. She's always happy. When people are so happy, something's wrong. This is a horrible world to be that happy all the time. Guess what?
All the friendly aliens make you happy.
You know, they give you the delusion that everything's okay. There was a song on America's Got Talent, and she put a song out, "Everything's Okay." She was dying of cancer. Incredible song, beautiful woman. They got the gold shower. They made her like the top person. She pulled out and she died 3 months later. So I mean, you could be happy, but guess what? You're dealing with yourself, your soul, karma, and everything else that revolves around you, not the rest of the world or the universe. It's all about you. And when you give it up to aliens and think they're going to solve all your problems, what can they solve for you? Think about it. If he could tell you anything in the world, what would you want an alien to tell you? You're a Superman. You'll never die.
The lottery numbers.
The lottery number for tomorrow. You know, see, spirit works in strange ways. I was about 8 years old, and I had my grandfather came up he took care of this big giant apartment building. He came up with a Ouija board, said this was in the garbage.
Tommy, have you turned your volume down? You're getting quieter.
No.
You are getting quieter at my end.
Well, I'm not trying not to. So I got a Ouija board, and I was playing with my grandmother. First thing we asked it, well, she did, what's the lottery number for tomorrow? It gave us a number. Guess what? It came out. Exactly. Next day, what's the lottery number? Didn't come out anymore. So, you know, spirit doesn't change reality. The same as like angels cannot, and all those other words we hear and use and think about and talk about, they don't change our reality. All right. When I just wrote a bunch of letters to one famous psychic in the United States. He's super famous, and he's booked solid for 4 years straight. And he claims he talks to all the dead people and all that. And I wrote him a nasty letter. I do that to a lot of people. I just put the truth out there. I said, you're going to tell the world that you talk to all these people's family, and they're all waiting up in heaven to sit there to talk to them? Really?
I don't think you can feel things from the other side. Like I felt for a couple of days just before, because I didn't realize when my nanny, my dog went. He was my baby. He was my world. I was totally devastated. He died very suddenly last year. Had load of tumours and lumps and what have you. He wasn't well at all. But for about 2 or 3 days, I've kept feeling that someone was very close to me, or just looking over my shoulder. I could feel like a presence. And then sadly, it went when my boy went. But we don't understand enough about death. I think scientifically, physically, mentally, spiritually, we do not understand enough about death. And yeah, hopefully when my book does come out, I'm having problems. Guys, if any of you could give me advice of putting my book out, my book's done. It's the illustration I'm having a problem with. I've got all the illustrations every time. Even Amazon doesn't know why it won't load. We're loading it up, loaded my pictures up, and then the pictures move all the paragraphs and the words change, and it just won't let me upload my book.
When you created your book, did you put the pictures in it already or no?
Yeah, I did my book, wrote it out, put it in, done all the format, done everything.
Oh, really? That's crazy. I mean, I never put pictures in my book on
No,
the
it's
cover and the
drawings.
back.
I have photographs of my injury when they took me, and I have like photographs, and I also have drawings from my abduction case from a few years ago. So I have all that put in there. And even Amazon and Amazon editors don't know what's going on. They
That's
can't
crazy.
work it
Well,
out.
there's a word, and it's called "Let's stop her from producing that." Okay. Uh, See, like I said, Tina's story is real, and I know the government knows it's real. She has ships over her house all the time. They, when somebody says, "I'm an abductee," and "Oh, I did all these. I'm friends with the aliens." Now, really, the government aren't following them. Somebody says, "I had to listen to a show this last night. They had the guest on. Oh, she's friends with all the aliens. She's doing this. She worked with the secret government, and on and on and on." I I said, "I don't even want to try because I'll be fighting for the rest of my life with her." I said, "She's the most craziest person on the planet and believes it." And well, what if she is? Really? If she's working with aliens, you don't think she'd be in a government facility right now? If she could actually talk and work with all these different alien races, even people like what's his name, the guy that levitated spoons? Oh,
Oh, Uri Geller.
Uri Geller. He worked for CIA. He worked for the government. So yeah, when they have an ability, any ability, like remote viewers, they're pulled into the government. I know people like Sergeant Latine, my friend Sean. The government comes into their reality. Fred Bell, who I miss, he was working for the government at 14. Read his book, people. It is more information in there than all the UFO conferences put together, and I'm serious about that. Fred Bell, Rays of True Crystals of Light, incredible book. All right, I think it's the most important UFO book ever written about a lot of things. He was friends with Billy Meyer's friends, the aliens. He was on their ships. He created inventions and chemicals and vitamins and all that.
What's it called?
Huh?
What's the book called?
Rays of True Crystals of Light, Fred Bell. It's an
Oh,
incredible book. I met with him a couple times. He was a good guy. He said, "I'll tell you things because I know you're not going to spread it now." I won't talk about him because now he's dead. I can say a lot about him.
I read a good book. It's over there. It's called The Day After Roswell. That was a very good, interesting read. I read that. I think Paula Harris was saying about people, majors and people in the military that wrote this. Because you want to read a book, that's the book to read. So I read that.
Well,
But it's that time, Tommy. Where's your
I know.
card?
Get it out, and show the world. I'll show you mine, but mine's useless because hers is what I care. People,
Yeah,
this
but
is
they
real.
need it to comparison so they can see. So this is my second one. My first one I dropped off the side and went in some tea or some fluid.
Before we go, this is real. It's a real Geiger counter. We bought one. I bought one. She bought one. The same. We got the same one. Hers broke. She bought a new one. She is doing something that nobody else can do, and she's not voluntarily doing it. She's doing something that's rather dangerous, and scientists don't agree with it, don't believe it. I talked to so many people trying to get some information and help with it. Oh, it's impossible. It can't do that. Radiation can't come and go and change and go to different parts of the body and all that stuff. But Tina has had all the problems of radioactive poisoning. She's doing it right now, and I keep praying for her every day.
Right. So
But,
this is my second one. I have one. I bought mine from Amazon, as did Tommy. There it is there. Tommy's is there. There's the front. It's identical to Tommy's. He's pushed the red button there. So I'm going to push my red button. That turns it on. So the top one, people, you can see that little sign there? Volts per meter. And the bottom one is micro Teslas.
Let me just, I got to get this. Hold on one second.
Do you think? So okay, so we get to that in a second. Just to answer, I'm beeping already, guys. I will just put it away from me because the closer it gets, the more it's going to go off. So I have scrapped the book and redone it again, totally rewrote it out and put it at the end of the book. I've changed the pages, rewrote it and redone it. It's taken over a year. It should have been released last year, at the end of the summer last year, and it's not happened. So I've asked another person to look at it, and they're having the same problem. So we'll get to that. So thank you for any help. So this is the item in question. Now, Tommy has the same one. Now his goes off. So I'll stand back a bit so it goes down to 0. So right. So Tommy's goes off. So as you can see, his top field is reading 65. See, every time I go near
Well, when it turns it towards me, it goes up to 200. So it's the way this receives the signal, I guess.
So I have a smart screen, and it doesn't allow waves to come out or anything like that. Tommy's isn't, which is why there's 20 at the moment. Okay. Now, Tommy, hold it closer to you so people can see it flashing. So there's Tommy's there. Now I'm going to hold mine closer to me. I'm going to come a bit closer to the screen. I'm going to get an angle so you can see because the light is terrible. Now Tommy's is reading 37. So here we go. So mine is, that's in my shoulder. I can't read it and look at it. That's saying 99 there.
Mine's moving. It's just going up. See it?
So his bottom one, tilt it slightly. So his top one's 83. So we'll start this side. Oh, there you go, Tommy. Can you see my number there?
Right there. Don't move it. You can see it.
So it's reading 1. Oh, you can see the readings now. Can you see that? So that there is reading microteslas.
See, so
I'm giving off a radio.
Well, somebody said it's not radiation.
Field. Is that right?
Yeah.
So let's go down the other side. So notice the top one. The top one is not going off. It's the bottom one, and it's very high reading today.
Mine won't do that. Anybody I brought mine next to doesn't do that. It doesn't do that for other people. So something's completely out of balance there. We can't get nobody to help us with what's really going on.
Bang on there, nothing. So how can that be? If it's in the area all around, it'd be going off when there's nothing there in the middle.
It's crazy what's going on with Tina. All right. And I keep telling her, I said, they're keeping her alive for some reason. Probably a lot of reasons. Because radiation is deadly.
101.
If you saw the movie.
So when it's flashing, it means it's a dangerous level.
If you saw the movie Silkwood, you would understand about radiation and watch it because they're working this plan. It was radio fields in there, and one girl gets it, and it was Cher, and she slowly dies. But basically, you can't remove it. It stays in reality for 100 years minimum. So whatever's going on inside Tina is not good in any level, not beneficial, not helpful. But she's hanging in, and that's all I care about. But she has pass out spells. She's going through all the symptoms, and it's scary because when she calls me up and says, "Oh, I just fell down," she smashed the leg to smithereens. It was like what happens to her is beyond whatever. I mean, she was losing one tooth like every other month. I mean, her nails are falling off, her hair is falling out. She has all the exact see that people. She's not making that up, and she wouldn't pull them out just for a joke either. So, people, if you know any scientists, ask them: could people be radioactive and on and off? They're going to say no, it's impossible. Well, so whatever's going on, we're not doing jokes here. We give you the truth. All right, her dog had radiation in its bones. So
he had a blood test. He was unwell, and they aspirated some lumps, and they wasn't sure. They said it was inconclusive, but his blood test said that in his cells and bones he had some type of radiation.
See, and I know I can't wait till Tina does the hypnosis session, and I would really like to ask if I was there. I'd say, ask her if the dog ever was with her.
Yeah,
because.
Well, now the COVID's over, the person, my investigator, he's getting married this year. So we're going to try and work around that. And we've got a big meeting. There's a big get together with the guys, like an awakening thing for the guys from Ancient Aliens. And that's in June, mid to end June. But I'm going to try and work something out for after then because I'm not quite sure.
What's the to put our own TV show on?
Yeah, we should.
And then we'll actually do the hypnosis thing and everything live.
Well, Yeah, that'd be cool. But I do want it. I said to my investigator and the professional he works with is a professional hypnotist. I want it recorded. They're going to record it, and it's my understanding there's going to be a few people in the room there with me, so that'd be quite good. It is terrifying. Don't forget it for 1 second. But
people, we're having a hard time getting Tina's book out. I mean, we need it out there for her benefit, so people could really listen to her story.
Yeah, the beeping.
That's me. But Tina, you want to talk about anything else before you leave us?
No, that's me, guys. Again, look at that. All I'm going to say is go back over the last few shows. There's been professors from Harvard, an Israeli professor who was in
Your
charge.
volume just went down.
Yeah, sorry.
Your volume went down now as well.
Yeah, yours was earlier. It's crazy. There's a guy from the professor from Harvard who's telling you these meteors aren't striking the Earth. They said that there are ships landing in the ocean. This is the head professor in charge of the astronomy department at Harvard University. You've got people saying they're seeing things. These things are being reported. Nothing's being followed up on. Guys, go and check it out for yourselves. Ask questions. Don't take our word for it. Look up things. If you have a question for me or Tommy, please, you don't need to be. You can just talk to us
Tina,
openly.
answer that question. Answer that question for that person. Does your friend have radioactive stuff around him?
Hold on.
Your partner.
Oh yeah, he's upstairs. I'll have to. Yeah, he has had.
Radiation.
Not as high as pitched as mine, but he has had. Yeah.
Well,
but he doesn't get it very often. But when, like, I think if he's been really close to me for a couple of days, he will.
You might be contagious.
Probably.
Radiation is contagious.
My dog was with me all the time. He used to sleep underneath my bed with me, and
well, maybe that's how you
he was there with me
as well.
Break my heart.
I feel sorry, Tina. If I lost my dog, I don't know how I could cope with it. I really couldn't.
I didn't have any biological children. He was my baby. He was everything. I was devastated, absolutely devastated. But my partner does show readings. I have redone the book, John. I've rewritten it 2 or 3 times and put things in different places. It's the same thing. And because it's not a huge book, it's a very slender book, guys, because it's just my account. I don't go into babbling about things. It's just my direct account. Like, at the age of this happened, I describe what I've seen. I've done drawings, and I've described exactly what happens. It's not a huge book, guys. It is a very direct book.
Before you go, Tina, did you ever hear of the Rain Man?
Rain Man. Is that a film with Tom Cruise?
No, I mean the real story of the Rain Man. He actually went around wherever he went, he could make it rain.
Oh, I don't know.
He put out a book.
So I've gotten hot flushes now.
The book was stripped from the planet completely.
All right.
And he was killed. So, and that was just rain. He could produce rain. So
probably the aliens are trying to kill me now. Someone else is. Oh my God, give me a break. I'm worried enough as it is. Jesus.
Well, look, I can go. I won't go on that, but it's always a pleasure, Tina. Stay safe, stay healthy.
Thank you for coming on the show, guys. Please contact me on Tommy anytime. Tommy, put your email address up so they can email you any questions. See you guys next week. For me now in Southampton, good night. Bye-bye. See you next week, guys.
Okay, people, I just put my email up. All right, anybody who wants to talk to me, really talk to me on Skype, it's Hawksblood11. Well, she doesn't like to get into spiritual stuff too much because of what happened to her. I mean, if I went through all the things she would, I would really doubt that I had any kind of protection or there's some being watching over me or cares about me. The Greys care about her greatly. So what I wanted to say, when you talk about soul and spirit and things like that, nobody knows. People know. There's a few people on this planet that know in detail, in depth, what it is, what happens when you die, and all those things. Religions kind of block it all. All right. They don't want that kind of stuff exposed, even though Jesus was trying to bring it out. Seriously. He was the only one that ever did. And they killed him. Why do you think people kill innocent, good people? People going around helping people. Why would somebody want to kill him? Think about it. Think about why. Oh, he was a threat to what? Truth? To love? To passion? To living? To life? what was Jesus really a threat about? People that are evil, want money. And basically, money controls evil people in great detail. So, what I want to say, soul is what we are. It's inside of us. It is us. And when this body dies, that leaves the body. It's not complicated. Where it goes is because it's based on the word karma, cause and effect, what you do and create, and what you have to pay off, what you didn't pay off, and where you are with that, because it'll determine if you have to reincarnate. 99% of all people reincarnate over and over and over again until they finally take the step of letting go of the programming ideas that keep man here. I break it down, and I hate to do this, but because she always says nobody knows, and there is truth out there, people. My other shows that I do when I'm doing work on lecturing and talking about spiritualism, it's about things that are true to soul. Why, what it does, what has to be done, what has to be learned, and you don't. Some of these people that talk to spirits, Remprong and people like that, I've been writing him letters all the time. But he charges lots of money, does all these classes, uh, talking to dead people. All right. There's a lot of things I can go into because I did that all when I was young. I was a high priest and I did all those kind of ghost busting and everything. But the idea that soul goes to heaven and is sitting at a table waiting for the rest of the family to come up there and party is probably one of the biggest lies man has ever accepted or been programmed to accept. And mostly we are programmed to accept things little by little. Hitler was the greatest hypnotist, but had the power of suggestion, telling people over and over something, they believe it. I did it. I know it works. I mean, I was doing hypnosis. I was hypnotizing groups of people at a time. I was going to go into that. And then I realized I don't want to interfere with people's lives in that way. Or you could heal people. You could tell people not to bite their nails, not to drink, and all that. It's temporary. It'll last for a while. But I don't want to take on karma, other people's karma. And you really don't have the right to, and you shouldn't. When somebody tries to heal somebody, they are taking on that karma. Second of all, they can't take it away from that person. They're only stepping inside it. Because somebody's a mass killer, and I'm going to forgive you and take away that karma. Guess what? Soul has to pay that. It'll reincarnate many times to pay that off. A famous person, Daniel Brinkley. All right. I guess it's Damien, but I met with him personally, challenged him to his face in front of people. Because he claimed a lot of things. He claimed he was hit by lightning 3 times and died and all that. He never talked about being abducted when he was young. He never talked about a lot of different things. But he was on a show with David Wilcock, and they were doing a workshop, and it was a lie, a complete lie, the whole workshop. So, no matter where the people come from, what they say and what they do prove the opposite of the truth. Because, okay, they were doing something called the rainbow body. High Lamas go into the rainbow body when they die and get cremated. All right. So when David Wilcock and Danny Brinkley are doing workshops on it, it was David Wilcock that told Danian, "Oh, you're a rainbow body." No, you don't walk around in a rainbow body. Especially if you lie and do things like that, you're not going to be spiritual. A spiritual person can't lie. I can't lie. I'm not saying I'm spiritual, but I can't lie. I mean, I abide by certain laws. That doesn't make me spiritual either. Spiritual means you're living as a spiritual being, and you can't do that here. And you hear, I'm spiritual, and no, you're not. If you got to say it, you're not. If you can't prove it, you're not. What can you do that makes you spiritual? Nobody can prove that. Well, Caroline Corey said she could levitate a piece of paper. Wow, is that an ability, really? How far can you levitate the paper? Can you levitate it up to the moon? How far can you levitate it? So, and I mean, there's a video just came out about Tibet, and they showed you this Lama floating in the air. I know there was a special one a year ago. He went around the world trying to find somebody that could truly levitate. And he went up to Tibet, An Islamist said, you can come in. He walked in. He said, you got to stay on the other side of the room. And he levitated 6 inches. Well, that was not really impressive. So if you're going to levitate something, levitate a car and let it go down the block or whatever. If you can levitate a penny, you can levitate a car. See, things don't weigh things in the spiritual reality, in the spiritual realm. We're not solid like we are here either. There's just so many things I could get into, but I'm not going to do it today because everybody's here hopefully want to know about UFOs and aliens. Aliens are real, people. There's about 9 races here. I'm not talking about all the so-called good ones, the bad ones that are here. All right? There are no good ones here. When people say the good grays, the good reptilians, the good Nordics, the good mantis, really? See, when you get into a world where you're dealing with aliens, the word that people don't like to hear is programmed. Realize, like hypnosis, I could program you to do anything, including kill a person. And that's real, seriously, proven. All right. One of my teachers, after I left Kreskin and I was doing hypnosis, I went to a hypnotist that was teaching me some more stuff because I didn't know how to work with groups of people and things. But again, you can make anybody do anything. 99% of the people. If you can't be hypnotized, then you can't make them do anything. And something about hypnosis, which people might not understand, the dumber you are, the less you can be hypnotized. And that's serious. Because to be hypnotized, you have to be able to maintain a thought. Oh, you're tired. I'm tired. An average person and I wouldn't say the average person, somebody that's not thinking right. I'm tired. Oh, no, I'm going to go play baseball. Oh, no, I'm going to go swimming. They can't refrain from thinking about other things other than the thought that they're supposed to be thinking about. The person that I work with that was teaching me was an Army hypnotist. He proved that you can have somebody shoot somebody and everything else. But he was teaching me hypnosis, things that I didn't know, and he was learning things from me. I was a magician, and I was teaching him magic tricks. Because when he works with children, children cannot hold a thought for a long period of time. So he would do magic tricks to keep them focused on something and made it easy for him to hypnotize them. So it's a matter of programming, which aliens can do much greater at every level, and they always did. So when these people come off a ship and, well, they show me all the good things, they just program you to believe it. Now, one example that I'll bring up, Mr. Goody, all right, when he claimed that he works with the blue race, Corey Good, all right, he said they showed him videos of the past, present, and future. I can make a video up and make you see it. The HAARP system, HAARP system, could do the same thing. So when he had this vision of this, he said the world was going to end soon. All right, let's see if that happens. People say a lot of things. Now, a guy came from Australia years ago, Cavalacius, I don't know if I'm saying it right. I kind of agreed with him for a while, but he was going out to James Gillen's ranch, the SETI ranch, and I warned him. I said, be careful if you go there. And he was reprogrammed, and everything he said wasn't true at all. None of it came true. So, when you make a prophecy and say it's going to happen, and it doesn't, it takes away from who you are to most people. Well, you can't always be right, but you should be right most of the time. Sean David Martin, a friend of mine, was released out of jail because he had cancer and he was dying, and they had to release him. But he was one of the top psychics in the United States. He was rated like 89% of what he said. He prophesied 9/11 1 year before it happened in detail of exactly what happened. I'm not going to say that was a real prophecy, where it came from, how we got it, but he did do it 1 year before it happened. So Ideal 18 wrote about it in short detail about 9/11 happening, not in full detail. So people were tuning into something that was happening, whether it was at a psychic level or a physical level, meaning he got inside information. 9/11 was the most dangerous thing that happened in the United States, but it was also set up. And there's books on the truth about it, and you should read them, because anything they told us was a lie. What happened is not even possible the way they said it happened. And multiple people in every world came out and said it's not possible. But it was dropped. Truth is always dropped for some reason. Nobody wants the truth or dig in deep enough to get to it. So why I do this show is just to put truth out there. Whether you believe it or not, that's your choice. If I talk about Nikola Tesla, it's because I was involved up where he was and his notes and everything about him. Alien ships were landing there for 9 months inside the reservoir. They flooded a city. That story you don't hear much about. Very few people could talk about it. Sergio 18 and I, we went up there for 6 years. We went almost every other night for 4 or 5 hours filming ships and weird stuff and strange things and been in the energy. It was incredible. It's like you stepped into a totally different dimension when you went into Wanacue, New Jersey. All right. These giant massive clouds would follow you around. You walk towards them, they back up. You move away, they follow you. These blue eyes and all the trees would be staring at you. It was bizarre. And there was an army base up there. The signs all said, if you get caught here, you will be shot. But we went in there every other night, 4 or 5 hours. At first, we went in there with real cameras. It cost me a fortune. Because if you shoot 86 pictures with a camera with film, getting it developed was expensive. And you know what we had to do? Tell the person developing the pictures, develop every picture. Well, this is that. I said, develop every picture. Because a lot of the things had these balls of light and different things. And they didn't understand that it was all real stuff. So, but again, it cost us a fortune. I sold about a $4,000 camera set for my first digital camera. Within the first month, we shot an orb. And then Sergio went into that in detail in great lengths. We went public in New York City, I think it was 1997 or 6, and said, we can film orbs anywhere we go. And then we taught people how to film. It's not complicated. And it's not the camera. It's not moisture in the air. It's none of those words. I can show you incredible pictures of orbs. I mean, orbs come to energy. But there's different kinds of orbs. I don't want to get into that. But all this stuff is real, people. But when you hear other people in the UFO world talking about it, they take away from reality. It's good. Very few things that are happening are good. Look at the world today. We're so close to war. We have wars going on. I mean, do we think we're living in any kind of a spiritual age or going into the golden age by any level? Sorry, people, we're not. And we're not moving forward in any way. We are stepping backwards. The weapons that we have because of aliens that gave it to Tesla, we have the most deadliest weapons on the planet. We had them before we did that even. I mean, when they came up with the hydrogen bomb, then it's the proton bomb, neutron bomb. I mean, one bomb, you could drop it on a city and kill everybody in the city without destroying the people. I mean, the city itself, just the people. So there's things that they don't do. Why have an army go into another place and kill all those people? Why? Because it is about killing people. Virus is about killing people. It's about killing, not saving people. People, I hope this show doesn't get taken off. There's always that possibility. I'm not going to go any further. I wanted to mention a few other things, which I can't. But personal level, you want to talk, Skype me on Hawksblood 11. There's a lot of things you can't say. I only got one more chance on YouTube. I only got one more chance on LinkedIn. I got blocked once on Twitter. I mean, they give you a warning and things like that. But LinkedIn said, you don't have any more chances. YouTube said, one more shot, we're taking the account away from you. I pay for it. So it's hard putting the truth out there, even if it's just the general truth to the world. I'm not going against the government. I mean, the army and all that. They got to do what they got to do. I'm not like all these people in the UFO world. They're attacking the army. Just the army and the Navy and the Marines and the government. They don't want to attack people. They don't want to attack aliens. They want to attack people in government, the army. And they want to make it sound like they're the most evil people. No. When they had Project Blue Book and Pegasus and all those kind of projects, it was for a reason. Not because they didn't want to tell people about what they were doing with aliens. People don't want to know what they did with aliens. And they shouldn't. And that's all they care about. What did they do? What was the real secret? What were they really doing? Well, we have the best of technology. Read the book I told you about. Fred Bell's book. He explained it. He explains the two ships that were capable of going to Mars. He explains how they work, about energy. He explains everything in that book. He was working with the Pleiadians. And the Pleiadians, people, are us from the future. Now, the the video of the Gray talking when the government's interrogating him, watch that. It's his programmed truth. When he says the Grays are us from the future, they will be the race that's here. Another story that he was programmed to believe and accept. They will not be. The Pleiadians are us from the future. All right? And they're trying to make sure we don't destroy the present. So, but the Grays not the Grays, I don't know what race Tesla worked with. I wish I did. But they gave him the technology for time travel. Free energy, all those words came out of that one person who worked with the alien race. He didn't get that from schooling. So, people, I hope you got something out of today. Please send this link to everybody you know if you can. If you care to, I would appreciate it. I'm not here lying. Tina's not here to lie. But I am hardcore against all these people out there lying to you in any UFO conference, what they say and what they tell you. The government's so bad. The government had wars with aliens, people. They really did. And we won because of certain technologies. But how far, how long can that last? All right. Just to show you, Billy Myers came out with the Pleiadians in 1950. If you saw the pictures of his ships, they're round, circular, kind of weird-looking dishes. About 20 years ago, they don't drive around in ships like that anymore. Well, the U.S. government has ships like that now, and they redesigned one so that they can use it, but it doesn't have the same functions. This one was over at California, really close to the shoreline. The whole beach saw it and things like that. But again, where are we going with all this? They're not going to save us. Aliens didn't come to our world to save this world. Unless, guess for what? Food. Not for our knowledge, not for our spiritual awareness, not for our love and compassion. They don't need it. They don't want it. And they don't care about it, people. When you hear these aliens, they were really good to us and they took in this, that. It's a program idea. All right. Till next time. Tommy Hawksblood here. Till next Tuesday for this show. I'm going to probably do another show in the next couple of days as well. Peace, love, compassion, whatever you want. Hope you get it. Don't stop until you get it. Don't accept the lies. Always look for the truth. It's there.